Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and I'm back on EverQuest. And I'm sure everyone loves to see this and aren't screaming at the screen right now. Decker, where the fuck is Alien Isolation? Since I brought it up, I may as well explain. Well, I haven't been quite in the right mindset today. For instance, it's a pretty shit day, and I just have been. It's just not been good. And you need to be in the right mindset for the right game. EverQuest is the kind of game where you don't even have to pay attention to what's going on half the time. You can just run around, get some XP, have a nice chat with your audience, and just, get things off your chest. Whereas Isolation, you kind of have to pay attention. You got to be in the mindset to be really having fun, play the game and all that, and not just be like, goddamn, why are things going all fucky fuck? Because if you got anything else on your mind but the game, you're probably gonna do bad at the game, not notice you're doing bad, not be able to talk right about what the hell's going on in the game, and just be like, here's a video, take it. And I don't want that. But where the fuck's my quest journal? Is it this bookie thing? That's storyline. Who cares about that? Map. That does work in here because they have that pre-made. Though I remember there was also like you could download maps like that people made shortly after they inputted the little cartography system. They call it the cartography system because you do actually map shit out on your own. And I can edit this map all I want by just you seriously have to like add a point, run, and that creates it, and then you drop the point. But nevertheless, the cartography system existed when the original Mines of Blooming Deep map existed, and it actually kind of overlapped in this map. And for a while, when I downloaded a map pack of all sorts of zones that people had already mapped out, I had the old Mines of Blooming Deep superimposed on top of the new Mines of Blooming Deep. Ah, memories. But last time when the video went up, I actually got a lot more views on... Where the fuck is the goddamn quest window? Mercenary. I don't have a mercenary, of course. That's one thing I actually wanted to do now because I'm getting a little... Quest journal! My mouse is right the fuck over it. One thing I wanted to do, let's see, kill Overlord Nick and for freedom. God, why has this gotta be such a dicky bag? Just extend that. Let me see what the fuck my quests are. Jeez. Roll the Glooming Battle of Glooming. Wasn't the guy like right here? Yeah, he's the guy with the Augs. But this isn't the best axe I can get here, so it's the Aug is stuck to the axe you give him. Called leadership. Okay. Overlord Nick, and that's actually kind of a pain in the ass. Which is why it says get a group, which is another reason why I should probably get a mercenary. But yeah, because I'm a free player, I only have access to two kinds of mercenaries: the tank mercenary and the healer mercenary, which were originally the only two kinds of mercenaries that even existed. If I talk to this guy, I'm just gonna get a human, pathetic human mercenary. I think I could switch him out later anyway, but if I go to the plane of knowledge, I have my pick of races that I want following me around. I know if I pay you money, I get the just chop with the pops. Okay, mercenary liaison. What do you got for me? Can I actually get the higher tiers? I thought that if you were free, they didn't let you get the higher tiers. I could try getting a higher tier. Will you do that? It worked. Okay. They made it so free people can actually have higher tier mercenaries now. Higher tier mercenaries cost more. Every 15 minutes you pay a mercenary upkeep cost. But at low levels, especially, let's see, info. Yeah, the purchase and upkeep cost is nothing. So it's always best to get a mercenary early on because they're free. Even the tier 5 that I just got. But also the upkeep is higher for... The purchase cost and upkeep are higher for higher mercenaries that... Goddamn, stop ducking when you run into the damn thing. Okay. Yeah, switch, these are all locked, I'd have to buy the slots, because free-to-play mob. But yeah, I have a human healer mercenary. I can dismiss it, or just all that stuff. You can read. You know how it works. But she's a healer. She gave me a buff. Courage. Ain't it the truth? Rufus, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, and I'm gonna laugh or growl because I'm a big pussy. Ha ha ha. Rat ears and piece of rat fur. Why? The thing is, you know, it's a classic with EverQuest. Is there's a lot of really good stuff that just doesn't frickin' drop very often. My mercenary's name is Sterana. They just get randomized. I don't think you can rename them. It'd be nice. But I got all those quests, and I got more quests down here if I can make it there. Which I don't see why I couldn't. But yeah. Hello, Glooming Deep Warrior. I'm gonna kick your ass. And if you start kicking my ass, I'm just gonna get healed, so it doesn't matter. Fuck you. Ha ha. So yeah, there's just so much that can be said about the history of EverQuest because the game is like 16 years old now. There's people watching this that are younger than this game. And I mean, yeah, I've played games as old as me, games older than me. Crude Defiant cloth sleeves. Now that's another thing. The Defiant armor is just something that they more recently put in because all the old world gear was shit, and there was, I mean, you could explore the old world areas, but everything in the new areas was better. Everything. And it's like they decided, okay, fuck it. We're going to introduce a new kind of armor that you can pick up from anywhere. And also the thing is, it has no size restrictions. Old EQ had that little bit of immersion where a breastplate was not the same for everyone. An ogre's breastplate was a different item from a gnome's breastplate, because items had size. And then you had these in-between sizes, like, I think wood elves could wear either small or medium, because they were tall, but they were thin, and, you know, things like that. But they just... Okay, goblin treachery, kill goblins, yes. Busted locks, get you a key, no problem. You, what do you want? Scouting, Glooming Deep, okay, I'll walk around for a while. Sabotage, okay, I'll put this lantern thing in the other thing and do the thing that you want with the thing. Okay, we're on the same page here, good. No problem. Okay, now, I can get the, what was it? The damn things. Cobalt Leadership, Glooming Deep Captains. Oh, that's more down the other thing. Okay, fuck. Okay, so I should head away from this area for a bit. And that Spirit Weaver, he might have a Spirit Weaver Nexus. But, probably not. It wouldn't really help me any. But, fuck it, I like kicking Spirit Weaver asses because those, staves they use are worth quite a bit of money. At least for a newbie. At least when this was... I don't know what the hell the frickin' economy is like now. It's probably broken to shit and everything. I don't know. They made coin weightless. Coin used to have weight, and if you had too much on you, you actually couldn't move because of the way the encumbrance system worked. Nowadays, you'd have to have an absolute ass ton because you get strength from breathing. That's another thing about the Berserker. The Berserkers can't go Berserk, which was an interesting thing because since, you know, EQ existed, Warriors existed, and Warriors had this ability where if they got down below a certain amount of hit points, they would go Berserk. And this had the benefit for them because it would increase their strength. Now, the way combat works in EverQuest, if you get below a certain amount of hit points, it has an effect no matter who you are. It'll drop your agility. You will be wounded. You will have a harder time dodging, which makes it so the lower your health, the harder it is to keep fighting. You go from high health to... It takes a while for you to drop in hit points, and then when you hit that point, suddenly you get worse and worse and worse, and they just hit you more and more often. weaker you are, and then kick the shit out of you and kill you. And that's just kind of how it works. But warriors actually had a benefit where they could go berserk, or they all automatically did, and a cat would jump on their face, and she would bite at their nose, and the enemy would be like, oh, that's so cute, and they would stop fighting, and you could get the advantage. Ain't that right, Terra Girl? Terra, I'm trying to be all EverQuest. I'm trying to intimidate a barrel. That's not going to do anything. But the fuck, didn't I have a? Wasn't there a quest for beating up the grunts and the warriors? Wouldn't I have had that? Oh yeah, the grunts and warriors. Oh, I already did the spirit. The slave wardens. They were the ones down the way that I said I don't have to go that way yet. They were the ones that are all done. Okay, fuck it. You can take out some grunts on the way. Yeah. So berserking had been a thing in EverQuest since day one. Because warriors went berserk. That's just what they did. And they introduced the berserker class, and they don't go berserk. They don't have that ability. They just don't. They get no strength bonus for getting low on health. Of course, the warrior's berserking ability, unless they made it so it works on the heroic stats table, it probably doesn't help anymore at all. But yeah, it's just it was funny because the berserkers don't go berserk, and people asked like, what the hell? Shouldn't you remedy this? This is a bug, right? Berserkers should be able to go berserk. They're berserkers. And the devs pretty much said back, they're just always berserk. Which is an interesting cop-out. It reminds me of the gamers. You never said that you were looking for an ambush. I always am expecting an ambush. You're not always expecting an ambush. How the hell do you sleep at night? That's besides the point. But yeah, the devs officially were saying, oh yeah, they're just always berserk. It's like, even when they're eating, it's like... Oh, but I want to see about getting through these quests and getting out of the mines. It's another reason I got the healer, so I don't have to sit around all the time. It's nice that I was able to get the higher tier, because when they restricted you as a free player, it's like, no, you have... Not only can you not get all the cool ones, like the magician, the fucking rogues, or the monk, you can't get any of those. Not only that, you're not even going to... Gloom Silk Sleeves. I don't need Gloom Silk Sleeves. Now, interestingly, they updated the Gloom Silk and the Gloom Iron and all that stuff. Because it used to be that it was, when they created it, really nice gear, especially for a newbie. I don't want the Gloom Silk. But then they, power creep just kept going and going and going. And the Gloom Silk, Gloom Iron, Gloom Leather, all of it was pretty much shit. Especially compared to the Defiant gear that was dropping in the Mines of Glooming Deep, because they programmed that to drop anywhere off anything, so that, hey, all those old world places that you don't bother going to because all the stuff is crap? Well, you have a chance of getting this stuff from anything, so huzzah. Yeah, the new stats that they threw together for the Gloom Silk and Gloom Iron and all that is actually just a copy-paste from the Defiant gear. It's the same exact stats. And they also colored them differently, because I have some Gloom Chain on, along with some Defiant Chain, and they got the same color. Gloom Chain originally had no coloration to it. It was just, all the Glooming Deep armors were just plain, straight, no die. But they just gave it the exact stats of the Defiant gear to make it actually compete. Though it's actually still better to have Defiant gear, because the Defiant gear has focus effects on it that the Gloom gear just doesn't. Like, let me see if I can... So I got my crude Defiant chain. Does this have a focus effect? Actually, this might not. Well, damn. Of course, this won't. Do I have any of Defiant? Glooming Deep. Crude Defiant chain gauntlets. Oh, come on. Something's got to have a focus effect. I was just talking about focus effects. Things got focus effects. You piece of shit. Oh well. But I swear that there are Gloom items that are just the... Okay, I got Crude Defiant Plaint Gauntlets. Those have to have, like, percussion resonance, yeah. That's only useful for bards. But, yeah, that was an interesting thing, as, the frickin' all the plate armors, because they have to be for everyone. They can't have anyone left out from any gear anymore. Every single one has to be for every single class. So you have all sorts of stuff that is increases damage over time abilities, increases all sorts of other things. I think I got the scouting Glooming Deep tasks done. You get it just for running down here. But you got what the fuck? There's something, I was thinking of it just now, I swear. But yeah, every single piece of armor also has bard abilities, and the bard abilities is like, okay, these are all these instruments. Which kind of defeat the purpose of the way that old bard things were, is you had the instruments, which would take over what your weapon is, so that you could concentrate on your songs, and your songs would be extra powerful because you had the right instrument for the right song. But it would only work with the certain songs that use that instrument. And then they, because if you weren't using an instrument, it was just a singing ability, and you could still do the songs, they just wouldn't be as powerful unless they were specifically songs for singing, then they just didn't have a more powerful version. But then they introduced all the bard armor where the specific pieces of armor actually did count as instruments. And then bards are like, holy shit, I can twist these songs into more powerful versions together, and all that. And also bard twisting, where they just combine songs and played several at the same time. That used to be done manually, but now you can actually just set that up, and it's an automatic thing. But then again, also, ranged attacks used to only be, you press the button and it does it once, and you have to keep pressing the button. And they had to add cobalt leather belts. I don't think that's... Yeah, that's, anyone... God damn it. Yeah, anyone can wear that. It's 2 armor class. I don't think I have a belt. No, I don't. So, yes. Yeah, I got a belt. While we're at it, we have that sabotagey thing. It's just go up here, give it to the box. Here you go. Yeah. Though I think if you give the box something else, it probably is be like, I'm sorry. The box will probably tell you, I don't need that right now. The fuse burns shorter. It's like a goddamn text adventure down here. The fuse burns shorter. Shabadoo! So worth it. Now I gotta still take out a few more captains, I think. Scouting. Yeah, I did the scouting. That'll flip at the leadership. Yeah, I need to kill 2 more captains. What the oh. Chuck an axe. Oh, you walked near the other one. Group aggro. Okay, let's work on our defense skill. That's always fun. That's one thing I used to do, was like when I was level 4 or level 5, I think, where I still got experience from the level 1 monsters way back when. Okay, he's beating up my friend. She's good for it. If she dies, I can just resurrect her later. For a price, that price right now being free. Don't just kick the motherfucker. But, yeah, this is a thing where being able to get aggro would be helpful. If I were a ranger, I could just snare that captain and he'd run right the fuck back to me like, you pissed me off more. If I were a warrior, I could taunt that captain and then cry because it doesn't fucking work. As a berserker, my only choice is just keep beating on his ass and hope that eventually he's like, you know what, I don't like you hitting me. But, yeah, there's just so many things, so much history in the game, so many things happen, so much has changed over the years. The whole thing with the UI being obtrusive, that's actually, I guess you could say, EQ history, because the original game, the user interface was so obtrusive, it took up like 70% of the screen, and that was partly intentional because you weren't able to move it around and modify it. That little window was your window to the world. That's all you were able to see, and that kept the processing requirements down, which in 1999, a 3D MMORPG, yeah, it was a bit demanding for when it was just launched, and they were trying to make sure that wasn't as bad as it could be. And oh, look at that! I'm level 7, I think. No, I don't think I have any tomes for level 7. Focus Will's level 10, yeah. Leg Strike, level 8. Level 10 for Steel Art, yeah. Okay. But I can also hand in these quests. Ain't that great? And I can kick these barrel asses. These barrels have axes and they shall be kicked. But, I don't know if they still have the, experience bonus and penalty. No, I know they don't have the experience penalties anymore, but I don't know if they still have the experience bonuses. Because that was one thing, different races and classes, you know, some were easier to play than others. So they actually had it go where you would have experience penalties for playing certain races, and experience penalties for playing certain classes. Experience bonuses for playing other races and other classes. And it was really interesting because it was it's like, I don't know if you actually had a bonus actually for playing certain classes. I just know you had penalties for playing silk slippers. No, I don't want your green silk slippers. Do I look like I cast spell? Well, I do. They're yellow mana. But the point is, I'm wearing chain. You should see that. But yeah, I made an ogre warrior way back when, and he took forever to level up. Partly because warriors just took so damn long to heal. And what's that countdown? What? When did that number? Did I press something? What the fuck? I don't get it. But yeah. Warriors would just take so long to heal up after a fight. And ogres got a penalty for on experience because they're so big and strong. They were harder to kill, therefore they get that penalty. But they were also really dumb, which made it harder to gain skill ups on them. It was Because yeah, all this stuff down here, you have become better at intimidation, better at two-hand slashing. It's based on several factors. A lot of it is tied to intelligence, but also with combat skills. It's Gloom Iron Bracer. I don't need your Gloom Iron. Just see, that's a plate item and it has no focus effects. Yeah, the strength does help, but it's also affected by intelligence and dexterity, and the fact was that ogres had shit intelligence and shit dexterity. And there's just, no, they were just not learning. And they also had shit agility, which meant they got hit more often. They had a fuck ton of hit points. They had the stamina to keep going, but I don't want your Gloom Iron. And they had the stamina to keep going, but that still meant that they had to sit down and wait to heal longer. And he just was not getting any kind of levels. He was just, it was fun, but there's another reason why it was highly suggested to play the game in a group. Because just, you know, I got my robotic healer back there. She just, you know, stand there and heal me after a fight. And I just keep running and hacking things up. Like, haha, this game is so fun. While, alternatively, I think that's a Froggy Rogue. I think. I don't know. While Halflings got a experience bonus, and I'm not sure if they still do. Probably. I haven't heard any. Oh, I haven't been playing EQ a lot, but still, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, you don't have sound. What the fuck are you talking about? You gotta talk about your son. Yeah, scouting glooming people. And that's all you gotta tell me. Okay, gave me a little money. That's great. Slave Warden, I need to kill you. But, how close am I? Almost halfway to level 8. But, the, like, a Halfling Ranger would gain experience really quickly. And, well, Halflings couldn't be Rangers at first, but there was enough complaints that, hey, their stats are really damn good. They can be Druids and not Rangers. Why not everyone else that can be Druids can be Rangers? So they're like, fine, here's your Halfling Ranges. So, yeah. I still don't know why the hell Froglocks can't be Berserkers. They'd be really fun. And I think a Froglock Berserker makes more sense than a Froglock Monk. Though it was really interesting when they first introduced Froglocks, because they could hardly be anything. They described the stats they had, they said, oh, fishing means this and that. And no, I don't want that. And all sorts of crap like that. And why is his pet attacking nothing? Did he set his pet to aggressive? Is that it? But yeah, Froglocks were, you know, when they first introduced them, they were a good race, and only good, because they worship Nathaniel Marr. And it was really weird, because, you know, we had seen Froglocks for years in EverQuest. Oh, the locksmith. I need you. You die now. But, Froglocks, we'd seen them in Guck. We'd seen them undead. We'd seen Necromancer Froglocks. Froglocks were monsters. They were a real pain in the ass. I mean, yeah, they fought trolls, but that's just because they both happened to be in the Innisal Swamp. I mean, the Fungus Men fight trolls too, but that doesn't mean Fungus Men are good and worshipping the god of justice and shit like that. So the fact that the Froglocks were these big, holy, priestly fuckers that could be clerics and paladins, and the only ones I know of that can be clerics, paladins, and shamans. And warriors, and I think cleric, paladin, shaman, warrior, and I think wizard was part of the original getup. And it was really fucking weird. Because especially, I was thinking, Froglock, 100 agility, 100 dexterity. That's fucking great. Yes, I want the Gallooning Master Key. You can go fuck yourself, sir. What the? Give me the binding powder. I don't know. Give me that too. And let's see, I gotta give the key to someone. Who was it? Okay, Lychee, okay. Need a key? Here's your key. And my only choice, the Blooming Deep Cobalt Chain Gauntlets. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. And I'm already wearing Crude Defiant Chain Gauntlets. I don't need to wear the same thing with no focus effect, especially for something that doesn't have a focus effect to begin with. 10 Goblin Slaves in Brookbin. Slave Wardens. Grunts, Warriors, that'll happen on its own. Slave Wardens. Fucking damn it. But, what the hell is it? I was talking about something, I know it. This video has been long enough already, I know. I really wanted to get through the mines and just be like, yeah. But I guess that's not happening today. Oh well. So I guess I'm going to leave this here. I'm just going to go back and just sell things. Get down there. It's easier to swim in first person. Because in third person, you can look up and down all you want. It's not going to change your actual swimming trajectory. You have to use page up and page down, which is awkward to say the least. And, of course, Froglocks are the only ones that start with 100 in swimming. Though, Ixar, they have so much... Oh yeah, Ixar, there was so much I could say about the Ixar, because there's so much that they had that made them interesting and exotic, and so much that has just been stripped away as the years have gone on. Really kind of funny. Anyway. Yeah. That's still EverQuest. I'm still in the mines of Glooming Deep, and I'm still beating the shit out of things with an axe. But hey, now I have a little robot to follow me around and keep me in one piece. Yay!